In Kryptic, the story opens on the rugged, mist-haunted slopes of Crypto Peak in Canada, where myths wander as long as the pines and disappearances aren't just rumors but daily fear. We meet Kay Hall, a quiet, introspective woman with a hunger for meaning, who joins a group of other women on a hike up those forested trails. The guide warns of the legend of the Sooka, a cryptid, half legend, half nightmare, a tall, shaggy creature with a mole-like face, and of Barb Valentine, a missing cryptozoologist who vanished years before chasing the Sooka's trail. When Kay strays off the path, she has her first encounter, not just fear, but something uncanny, a flash of something both otherworldly and intimate, and she loses time, her memory slipping like mist at dawn. Back with the group, she finds fragments, a camcorder with Barb's voice, video of the creature, and the shocking discovery that Barb and she look identical. Haunted by the idea that she may not just be impersonating Barb but may in some strange way be her, Kay returns home only to find her life unmoored, hallucinations, strange intrusions in her house, an intruder, mud under her feet, questions in her head. Every lead she follows, motels run by women changed by similar encounters, locals who sense something in her, archives of Barb's notes, feels less like clues and more like whispers from the forest itself. Through these encounters Kay meets Starla, whose daughter Diane disappeared chasing her own encounter with Sooka, a motel owner, a trailer park community, a man Barb left behind, Morgan, who says he wants her back but also wants her quiet and safe. What was a journey to find Barb becomes tangled with Kay's own identity, her body, her mind, her past, until the boundary between hunter and hunted, observer and victim, identity and other becomes as slippery and dangerous as the slime and vines that seem to seep into the film's waking and dream world alike. As Kay's sense of self crumbles and rewrites itself with every memory she cannot trust, the monster myth that seemed external begins to feel internal, a beast of trauma, repression, and the unacknowledged stories that women carry. The Sooka, physical, spiritual, metaphor, becomes a mirror. What do we fear when the world won't recognize our truth? There is Barb Valentine, missing yet present in Kay's visions, Morgan, Barb's husband, who tries to anchor Kay back to normal, but whose love feels possessive and disbelieving, characters like Jeanette, like Starla, like Sally, who have all touched the edges of the forest and carried scars, some visible, some hidden. In the film's climax, chaos and control collide. Kay/Barb kills Morgan in a moment of regained power, abandons the domestic illusion of recovery, returns to the forest's edge, to the site of her first encounter, leaving behind tokens, flowers, hoodies, objects that tether identity, and steps off trail, into light or dark, into an ending that unsettles more than it resolves. The film doesn't tie loose ends so much as alter the edges of your vision, asking questions: who owns your story? What monsters do others want you to be afraid of? Is the Sooka outside you, inside you, or both? Kryptic ends not with closure but with invitation, to look at what's uncanny in wilderness, in folklore, in memory, and to recognize that sometimes finding yourself means losing certainty, and maybe finding something wilder instead. As Kryptic spirals into its chilling, dreamlike ending, the lines between reality, myth, and memory dissolve completely, leaving viewers as disoriented as Kay herself, who by now may no longer be Kay at all, but Barb or something entirely new. After spending the entire film searching for Barb Valentine, the missing cryptozoologist, and gradually discovering she shares not only a face with her but memories, instincts, and maybe even destiny, Kay reaches a breaking point. The clues she's followed, tapes, motel whispers, overgrown forest trails, all lead her back to the source, the woods around Crypto Peak. But this time, it's not just about finding Barb. It's about confronting the monster, the Sooka, and the disturbing question of whether it's an external creature or a reflection of the self, what society fears in a woman who can't be controlled, explained, or softened. Kay's confrontation with Morgan, Barb's former partner, ends in raw violence. She kills him, not in cold blood, but in a final, chaotic moment of clarity, as if shedding the last anchor tying her to a life that was never truly hers. His death is symbolic, representing the end of denial, of gaslighting, of being told who she is or isn't. After that, the film no longer pretends it's working within the logic of linear storytelling. The forest calls again, not as a place of fear, but of transformation. Kay walks barefoot into the wild, past the place she first saw the creature, and leaves behind her shoes, her hoodie, even her name, offering them to the moss and the mist as if shedding skin. The Sooka appears, not as a jump-scare monster, but as a silent, tall, strange being with a face like a mole, an aura that's neither threatening nor comforting, but ancient, elemental. And in that moment, there's no dialogue, only silence and breath as Kay stands before the being not in fear, but in understanding. Is this the final transformation? Has she become Barb, or something new? Or has she, like so many others, been rewritten by the forest's memory, absorbed into the myth the town refuses to fully see? Kryptic doesn't hand viewers a clear resolution. Instead, it leaves you with an ache in your gut and a chill on your skin, as the camera lingers on the empty forest path and the faint rustling in the leaves. There's no grand reveal, no authorities swooping in, no exposition dump. Instead, the ending reminds us that some stories aren't meant to be solved, they're meant to haunt. The Sooka, much like trauma or suppressed identity, cannot be captured or defeated, it must be acknowledged, faced, and accepted. Kay's journey is not about conquering a monster, but unmasking herself, discarding all that was forced